Okay, sell me this card. You know how ramp players just love fetching lands and putting them directly on the battlefield? Sure. Imagine doing that at instant speed, but you could also grab a creature into your hand if you don't need land. Okay, triggering landfall at instant speed is pretty good. It also adds modes to give creatures a counter and do a bite where they deal damage to another creature, or you can exile an artifact or enchantment. Added options. This thing's gotta cost 5 mana, right? Just 3 green. I don't know. Even 3 mana is a lot for just a basic land. I didn't say basic. I need all of these. I need like 1,000 copies. Okay, summon this card. I have a spell for 3 black that returns a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, but it's suspected. The heck is suspected? It's a perpetual effect that means it has menace, but it can't block. So it's a 5-drop reanimation spell with sets mechanics. All right, I've seen it before. I'm not interested. But this one's an instant. Okay, that's nice, but the creature can't block, right? That's a big downside. No, it can't block. But if it's a tally, whatever you spin into can. Man, standard's crazy. Okay, sell me this card. Outrageous Robbery. Hey, I was acquitted of all charges and I will not have accusations like that. No, that's the card's name. Oh, sorry. Continue. It's an instant for X black, where you exile the top X cards of your opponent's library and you can play them. Until end of turn? For as long as they're exiled. So the rest of the game? Pretty much, yeah. You lose life equal to X, right? Nope. And at least you have to have the right color of mana to cast the spells that you get off this thing. You can use mana of any type to cast them. Man, it's tough to reject these nowadays since they just don't have downsides. Okay, sell me this card. Slime Against Humanity is, are we really doing puns? Yes.
All will be puns.
Yikes, go on. So Slime Against Humanity is a sorcery that produces a 0/0 ooze creature token, and you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, plus an additional counter for every copy of Slime Against Humanity in your graveyard or in exile. So the first one's a 2/2 for 3, and the fourth one's like a 5/5. Nope, I'm out. A deck can have any number of cards named Slime Against Humanity. I need 1 million copies of this right now. I'm gonna be rich. Okay, sell me this card. Krenko's Buzzcrusher is a 4/4 flying trample for 2 red, and when it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, destroy up to 1 non-basic land they control, and they can search their library for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tapped. So it's just Field of Ruin on a body. Not exactly. How so? Field of Ruin targets the land. Oh, so the controller gets to pick which land gets blown up. Well, no, Buzzcrusher's controller does. But it doesn't target? No. Why not? Because Lotus Field. Get out of my office. Alright, sell me this card. Insidious Roots is an enchantment for black-green that cares about tokens, graveyards, ramp, and the plant creature type. That's a lot of stuff happening. That's not good. I think you'll be surprised. It gives your creature tokens the ability to tap for any color of mana. That sounds decent for 2. And whenever a creature card leaves your graveyard, you create a 0/1 plant creature token. So if you jump through that hoop, you get a mana dork? Then you put a +1/+1 counter on every plant you control. Wait, I'm not following. So if a creature leaves your graveyard, fun stuff happens. Alright, I'll trust you on this one. Okay, well, sell me this card. Make your move. Go to F5, check. What? Squid to B2, checkmate. I'm so confused. Gotta be fast when you play with me. Anyway, Make Your Move is an instant for 2 and a white that lets you destroy an artifact, enchantment, or a creature with power 4 or greater. So it's those limited only, like, big critter killers, but they slapped it onto a disenchant? At common. That's just clean. I'm in. I don't know what I'm doing. This thing ain't lit. Okay. Sell me this card. Reenact the Crime. I'd rather you didn't. The magic card? Oh, I misunderstood. Anyway, it's an instant for 1 blue, and it lets you exile a card from a graveyard that was put there this turn from anywhere, and you get to free cast it. So if your opponent plays a spell, you can cast it after. Your creature died in combat. You can cast it after as a token. You mill a little. You can cast one of the milled cards. What if I have 8 mana? You could cast Reenact the Crime, targeting the Reenact the Crime that you just cast. I think we broke it. I don't think that's gonna play out the way you're... Hey, don't talk past the sale. I'll take 1,000. Okay, summon this card. This card's an old favorite of mine, and I think you'll really like it. All right, fire away. Battle Screech is an uncommon from Judgment that came out in 2002. So it's a classic. For folks like me, absolutely. What's it do? It's a sorcery for 2 white that creates 2 1/1 bird creature tokens, and it has flashback. I'm starting to see why I haven't heard of it before. There's not a lot of stats for that much mana. You see, it's the flashback that makes it interesting. You need to tap 3 untapped white creatures you control, and it gives you 2. So if you have 1 other white creature down when you cast this thing, you can then just tap all 3 of them to flash it back. So you end up with 4 birds for 4 mana? Exactly. And it gets even more fun if you have other token generators or something like Quiet Speculation that can tutor flashback cards into your graveyard. Why would I want something like this when Bitter Blossom exists? There are a lot of different synergies in how you'd build around it, not to mention the color difference. But it just doesn't sound powerful by today's standards. Is it at least worth some cash? Well, no, it was reprinted in some supplemental products. You can get it for about a nickel. Hard pass. You don't understand, though. It's so fun to watch an army of birds fly out of your graveyard that your opponent didn't expect. Pass. You can also combine it with cards like Soulcatcher's Airy or Airborne Aid for some really fun, nostalgic gameplay in Commander. I said I'm not interested. But why not? This card has nothing I'm looking for. It's not going to make me money, there are more powerful options, and I personally don't care about bird decks. But this card means a lot to me, and it might mean a lot to other people who got started in the early 2000s playing kitchen table jank with their friends. That's fine, but why are you trying to sell me on it? Huh. That's a good question. Okay, summon this card. The card's called Farewell, and it came out in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I can't believe I've never heard of this thing. Me too, honestly, but that's the premise of this whole show, so just go with it. It's a sorcery for 4 white, and you pick between artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or graveyards, and you exile all of whatever you chose. What if, say, I have an enchantment that I don't want to lose? Just pick the other modes. You can do that? Yep. And you exile everything. Everything except lands, battles, and planeswalkers, yeah. But people don't play those a lot in Commander. I mean, I have a battle deck. Okay, I'll take Farewell because I love being rude at my Commander tables. However, you will need to take that battle deck somewhere else. Fair. Oh, hey there. Do you like drawing cards? Whoa. How'd you get in my office? Trouble in Pairs is an enchantment for 2 white that lets you draw a card whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card, or plays their second spell. There's a lunatic in my office. Yes, that's him. You gave him the key? So what if he looks exactly like me? You are fired. I was just really excited about this card, so I had to get here early. I've been here for hours. Is there any way I'm getting out of this? Well, yeah, like just a disenchant or like a Crossing Grip would do the job. That is not what I meant. But don't think about taking an extra turn. This thing prevents those. How many of these do I need to buy to get you out of my office right now? Okay. Now that we understand some boundaries, go ahead and sell me this card. Rhystic Study is a staple in Commander because it's an enchantment that forces your opponent to either pay 1 extra for every spell they cast or just give you cards. So if I wanna... Do you pay the 1? Sure, but then if I wanna... You pay the 1? Okay, sure. But then when I'm done with that, I wanna... You pay the 1? No, I guess not. Okay, but then I'm gonna go ahead and... Do you pay the 1? No, take your card. But then I wanna go ahead and... Do you pay the 1? No, draw your card by all means. Okay, cool. And since I'm going to be doing that to 3 players, I'm basically going to draw whatever I need for any situation for the rest of this game. Well, that wasn't any fun. Well, no, not for you. You son of a gun. I'm in. Okay, summon this card. Flare of Cultivation is a new free spell coming in Modern Horizons 3. I'll take 100,000 copies. Do you want me to finish? I heard Modern Horizons and I heard free spells. I am not passing on Solitude again. Well, this one's a bit different. It's basically Kodama's Reach, where you get one basic land onto the battlefield and another into your hand. But it's free. You may sacrifice a non-token green creature instead of paying its mana cost, which is otherwise 1 green. Got it. Maybe make that just a couple hundred copies. Don't forget, Arboreal Grazer's legal in Modern. Make it 1 million, final offer. Okay, Selma is Cad. Do you remember the flip Planeswalkers from Origins? Sure, creature on one side, Planeswalker on the other. Exactly, well we're doing more of those in Modern Horizons 3. So who are we starting with? Ajani Nacatl Pariah. He's a 1/2 for 1 and a white that when he enters makes a 2/1 cat creature token. And he transforms when at least one other cat you control dies. Oh my goodness. Sir, are you all right? It's just his friend that was with him from the beginning. Do you want to hear about the Planeswalker side? It puts counters on cats you control, it creates cat creature tokens, or it ultimates to wipe most of your opponent's board. Wait. That's only 2 mana? Yes, sir. Don't you think this is all just a little much? Okay. Somebody's cat. Emrakul's back. She's free from the moon? Well, no, this is Modern Horizons 3, so it doesn't really have a story tied to it. Oh, I care much less now. The moon features prominently in the art. Does that help? Surprisingly, yes. Great. Anyway, Emrakul is a 12/12 for 12 that lets you gain control of all creatures target player controls. When they enter, on cast. Gross. It has flying and protection from spells and permanents that were cast this turn. So it's kind of untargetable and you can't flash block it. Abilities like Otawara's Channel would work. Well, that's something. But also, when Emrakul leaves the battlefield, you sacrifice all creatures you control. But you took all my creatures. Exactly. Dang. And it has Madness for just 6 colorless. You do realize Modern is a Tron format, right? Oh, yes. Okay. Somebody's cat. Scrounging Deathclaw is a creature for 1 and a green whose power is equal to the number of card types in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. Isn't that basically just Goyf? Yeah, it's actually a flavor reskin of the original Goyf. The original Goyf? Yeah, Tarmogoyf. I'm sorry, did you just say that Tarmogoyf is the original Goyf? Yeah, I did. Don't you dare sully the good name of Lurgoyf in my presence. Get out of my office. Oh, crap. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ham, run. It's security. Okay, Somebody's cat. Atomize is a new removal spell coming in the Fallout Universe Beyond set. So it's got that wasteland flavor. You could say that. It shows an energy weapon absolutely vaporizing some poor guy. Ouch. It's an instant for 2 black-green that destroys target non-land permanent. Reminds me of Binding the Old Gods. It also proliferates. So it's just about the best piece of removal you could put in some kind of Atraxa value deck. I don't know, there's a lot of competition on that front. But it's in the conversation, for sure. Super flexible, obvious commander role players like this will always sell. I'll take 100 copies. Okay. Somebody's cat. This is gonna suck. Why's that? Honestly, sir, I don't want to talk about this thing, but my boss was really insistent that I be. Who's your boss? Do you remember shrines? From classic Kamigawa? Yeah, sure. Well, there's a legendary 5-color shrine named Go-Shintai of Life's Origin. It's about time they gave them a commander. I'm sorry, Sissay. What's that? It only costs green to cast, but it has a 5-color activation that can reanimate an enchantment, and whenever a non-token shrine you control enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 shrine enchantment creature token. Why don't you like it? With this thing, you just rock out so many shrines that it just completely negates the only downside this archetype had. That sounds powerful. I'll take 1,000. Really? Look, kid, I'm in the business of winning, not clever deck building, okay? You can take that someplace else. Even in Casual Commander. Especially in Casual Commander. Okay, Somebody's cat. Bloomburrow's coming out in August, so I hope you're ready for some adorable little animal friends. How adorable are we talking? How about a little mouse soldier named Mabel? Her name is Mabel? She's a 3/3 mouse who gives other mice +1/+1, and when she enters the battlefield, you create a token equipment named Cragflame. Did you say Iron Crag? No, Cragflame. It's totally different. But doesn't Iron Crag become a sword with that name? No, that's Everflame. Evercrag? Cragflame. Iron Cragflame. No, it's Cragflame. Daniel Craig? Close enough. Did I mention she wears a little red hood? Okay. Somebody's cat. Juggle the Performance is a Murder at Karlov Manor alchemy card. So it's digital only on Arena. Correct. So how would I buy? It's a sorcery for 1 black red that has you discard your hand and then conjure 7 random cards from the library of the player to your right. In English, please. You wheel but draw from someone else's deck. The player to your right? Correct. Arena's one-on-one though, isn't it? That's right. See, the way they templated this allows them to imply that multiplayer is going to be coming sometime soon, just to tease Commander players and hopefully get them to reinstall Arena. But that's not going to happen. Yeah, probably not anytime soon. But you see, they didn't promise it. Oh yeah, the old bait and profit. Okay, somebody's cad. V.A.T.S is an instant from the Fallout set for 2 black that has split second. The mechanic that literally stops people from playing the game, that's the one. Okay, once I'm frozen, what do I have to watch you do? The caster chooses any number of creatures with equal toughness. You destroy those creatures. So if I have like 1,000 Sapperlings or Scoot Swarms, they're all toast, yeah. How many shots do you get when you use V.A.T.S in Fallout? I don't see how that's relevant. Hey, if someone's gonna stop the game and ruin everybody else's fun, it's gonna be me. I'll take 1,000. Okay. Somebody's cat. Inventory management is a fun riff on how video games let you pause the game to move equipment around. So it's Boros? How'd you know? It's a card that cares about equipment in a Commander product. I'm not an idiot. It has split second, and for each equipment and aura you control, you can attach it to one creature you control. So it's magnetic theft, but for everything at once. Basically, yeah. Nice reference. What does it do for me if someone wipes creatures? I beg your pardon? If I don't have any creatures, does it do anything? It's a Boros equipment support card. You know the answer to that. Right. Hard pass. Okay, sell me this card. Do you remember Psychotog? Draw a bunch, eat your graveyard, get a big dude. That's the one. Well, this card sounds like that one. What? Psychic Frog is a 1/2 for blue-black that lets you discard a card to put a +1/+1 counter on it. Additionally, you draw a card if it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Does it care about your graveyard? Yep, you can exile 3 cards from the graveyard to give it flying. That's a fun throwback, but I can't imagine it'll be competitive like Psychotog was. I get that, but I know you'll buy it. Why's that? Just look at the showcase art. Okay, it's a frog. Look closer. Funny looking frog. Closer. All glory to the Psychic Frog. That's what I thought. Okay, somebody's cat. Promise of Loyalty is a board wipe for 4 white that's intended for Commander. So it's lame. Actually, for strategies relying on a single creature, it can be backbreaking for your opponents. How so? Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and then sacrifices the rest. Gets around hexproof and indestructible. I like that. There's more though. The survivor can't attack you or a planeswalker you control for as long as it has a vow counter. So everybody keeps their best creatures, but they can't hit you. Exactly. This has to be a money card in Commander, right? Actually, no. It's worth about a quarter. What? How's that? I think a lot of people just don't know it exists. So no big name content creators have been talking it up? Well, not until now. I said big. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, somebody's cat. So you know how Commander players love legendary creatures that are just strictly the best option for their chosen archetype? Sure, I play a Gamakev. Exactly. Well, today's card is that, except for enchantment decks. So it draws cards when you cast an enchantment spell, and it itself is an enchantment. How'd you know? What else would it be? Fair. Is there anything else that makes this stand out? Well, it's green and white to make sure all the bases are covered, and you gain life when it triggers. Well, that's new. Kind of, but it is a white card nowadays, so of course there had to be life gain on it somewhere. What else? That's about it. I mean, it's only 2 mana. Of course I have to buy this. Why didn't you just send an email? You didn't have to come all the way out here. My boss gets a very generous mileage allowance from your firm. Fair enough. And I'm not expected back at the headquarters for a while yet. So, I mean, do you want to play a quick game? I got Tatiova and Krenko. Okay, sell me this cat. Voja, Jaws of the Conclave is one of 3 cards that were included in Murders at Karlov Manor pre-release kits. And all 3 a similar quality? No, absolutely not. Dang. It's a 5/5 for 5 with some great keyword abilities and an attack trigger that basically says you win the game if you have any elves or wolves online. But it has to attack with an established board, so I get a chance to remove it, right? In theory, sure, but it does have ward 3. What's the flavor reason for it having ward? What do you mean? Is it especially agile, magically protected? Is its fur really, like, hard? I don't think so. But the ward does mean that this limited availability card is worth about 15 bucks a piece right now. And the others? Pennies. Yeah, I'll take 1,000. Okay, sell me this cat. Do you remember Deep Cavern Imp? Nope, nobody does. That's fine. What? Deep Cavern Bat, however, is an uncommon from Lost Caverns of Ixalan that sees a bunch of play in Standard right now. Even if it sees all the play, uncommons usually aren't a good investment. What really makes this card special is its digital marketing strategy. What do you mean? If a player has this in their deck on Magic the Gathering Arena, they'll draw it pretty much every single game, and it disrupts the opponent's hand, so it's super annoying. So Arena players learn to rely on it, so when they're making the paper deck, they need 4 of them? Pretty much. That's all well and good, but is competitive paper really driving prices right now? Actually, yeah. RCQ season really boosted Standard prices. That's nice to hear. I know, right? Yeah, I'll take 1,000,000 of those bets. Okay, sell me this cat. Tiny Bones the Pickpocket is a 1/1 death-touching skeleton rogue for 1 black mana. Ashnod saw a little bit of play with those stats, and, this triggers rogue payoff, so that's nice. Hold on, there's more. I will be shocked if you say a downside right now. Whenever Tiny Bones deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a non-land card from their graveyard. Free cast? Mana of any color. When you said 1 black earlier, you meant 1 and a black, right? Nope. Its mana value is 1. This thing sounds like a powered down Ragavan. Well, they're both thieves, so that makes sense. I guess so. Yeah, I'm in. Hey, where'd my cigar go? Oh, I'm not sure, sir. I came in with this one. Okay, sell me this cat. Hell to Pay is a sorcery for X and a red that deals X damage to target creature, and for each excess damage you deal, you make a tapped treasure token. So we're just swearing right in card names now? Magic's a 13+ game, so I think we can get away with a little colorful language. Fair enough. What do you think about the card? Can this thing target players? No. Planeswalkers? Well, no, but you can use it to ramp in red. If it was an instant, maybe, but as a sorcery, I'm out. Damn. Okay, summon his cat. You know Nathan Stoyer, the pro who absolutely wrecked you in that feature match in the first Timeless Creator Clash? I would have said the former world champion, but yeah, that's him. Sure, great player. Well, his world champion card is in Thunder Junction. It's called Duelist of the Mind. Championship cards tend to be really solid. What's Stoya come up with? It's a flyer for 1 blue that cares about drawing cards. This is sounding familiar. This one's power is equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. So it turns card drawing to damage. And it has vigilance and 3 toughness, so it's good on defense. Man, that guy knows his cards. I can see why he beat you up so bad. Well, he was nice while he was doing it. Okay. Summon his cat. Jace Reawakened is a planeswalker in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Didn't they say there'd only be 1 planeswalker per set moving forward? Yes, that has been a popular talking point. But didn't Oko get a card in this set? Yep. And it's a planeswalker. Yep. Do you see the issue? Nope. So anyway, Jace only costs blue, but you can't cast him on your first, second, or third turn of the game. So there's not much benefit for him being so cheap. Well, you can cast him on turn 4 and hold up mana for a counterspell, or you can reanimate it with Restoration of Aganjo while that's still legal. Fair enough. What's he do? He has a plus that lets you free cast any 3-drop from your hand on a future turn. But he only costs 2. Yep. Don't you see the issue? Nope. Okay. Sell me this cat. The Gitrog Ravenous Ride is a mount in Thunder Junction. They're letting people ride them now. Apparently, Thalia brought them around to the idea. Well, that's understandable. Don't worry, they still eat people. Good, I guess? How does that work mechanically? Well, they're 6/5 with Trample Haste and Saddle 1, and when they deal combat damage to a player, you can sacrifice one of the creatures that saddled it and draw cards equal to its power, and even put that many lands from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So, Urbrask Forge tokens or Mosswood Dread Knights, they refill your hand now if you want? Unless your opponent can stop 6 trample damage that they probably didn't see coming? Yeah. I mean, it's weird to see Gitrog is not just some kind of crazy build-around card, but maybe it'll see playing standard. I'll take 1,000. Okay. Summon his cat. Make Your Own Luck is a sorcery for 3 green blue that lets you look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile one of them. If you do, that becomes plotted, and you put the rest into your hand. So you draw 3 cards, or draw 2 and effectively free cast another one. On a future turn, yeah. Okay, this card might refill your hand, or maybe get you a chance to free cast an Atraxa or something, but it doesn't affect the board. I'm out. But it's kind of like Aetherworks Marvel, don't you think? And that card was great.
Oh, gee, mister, thanks for inviting me over to game night. It's just nice to make new friends.
I'm glad. Anyway, activate Aether Works Marvel, finding Ulamog, cast, exile your Gaius Cradle and your Nykthos.
Wait, no, I trusted you.
Sir? I'll take 100 million! No, buy every sealed box of this set! What? Nobody should go through that! Not again! Okay. Summit is cat. Final Showdown is an instant from Thunder Junction, and before you even say it, it is not a song by Europe. It's an instant with Spree that can force all creatures to lose abilities, give one of your creatures indestructible, or destroy all creatures on board. Otto's modes seem really powerful on an instant. Definitely. Control players are gonna have a field day with this one. If all you wanted to do was wipe the board, how much would that cost? 6 total. So would you say, we're leaving together? What? But still it's farewell. And maybe we'll come back. You know what? Never mind. To Earth, who can tell? Yeah. It's the final showdown. Okay. Summit is cat. Marchesa, Dealer of Death, is a 3/4 for 3 in Grixis colors. Marchesa? What's she doing off Fiora? Isn't being a queen kind of a full-time job? Don't worry about it. But shouldn't there be some lore reason? She's here because character recognition makes money. Oh, it's to make money. Well, never mind, I'm in. She has a static that says whenever you commit a crime, you can pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, 1 into your graveyard. Is it a good idea to give Grixis the opportunity to draw a card every time they counter something and kill something? We want to make the money, remember? Oh, right, of course. I'll take 1,000. Okay, Summit is cat. Karavak the Punisher is a 3/3 human warlock that really wants you to be playing mono black. Why is that? For starters, he has 2 black pips in his mana cost, but then when you commit a crime, you can target a black card in your graveyard, exile it, copy it, and you can cast the copy. Without paying his mana cost? No, it's still full price, and you only get the chance to cast it in the moment. Oh, and if you do, you lose 2 life. So every crime you commit becomes a Snapcaster Mage? Essentially. Except this can target any card type. So I could cut down your 3/2 and then recast my Sheoldred that died earlier in the game. If you have enough mana, absolutely. Except that Sheoldred would be a token when it enters the battlefield. So if it leaves the battlefield, it's gone forever. Huh, thanks for helping me understand how that card works. Absolutely, that is a part of my job after all. Did you want to buy it though? Oh, most definitely. Okay. Summit is cat. Smuggler's Surprise is an instant for green, but it has Spree, so it always costs more than that. What modes are we working with? For +2, you can mill 4 cards and then take 2 creatures or lands from the milled cards and put them in your hand. Not bad. For +1, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Heroic Intervention at home? Alright. And +4 green, you can put 2 creatures from your hand onto the battlefield. You said this was an instant? Yes, sir. So if I have 2 bomb creatures in hand, I can drop them on your end step? You got it. Oh, and by the way, Terror of the Peaks is getting a reprint in this set. Go nuts. I'm sorry, I think I blacked out for a second. I thought you just said that you could flash in a Terror of the Peaks in standard with this card. You heard right. There are no words to describe how in I am. Okay. Summit is cat. Not today. What? Today, I just want to give you something. Oh. Thanks? It's Greed's Gambit. And there's no takesies backsies. Takesies backsies? When we get to the end of your turn, you'll understand. Oh, I do not like that. Yeah, it hurts you the longer you hold it, but you do get a really nice bonus when it enters the battlefield. If it enters under your control. Which this one didn't. Take it back! Do you have a Coveted Falcon or a Harmless Offering? Not on me, no. Well then, no takesies backsies. Oh, and you're not gonna want to sacrifice it either because that'll really hurt. Ooh! I'm gonna get you back for this. Ah! Okay, Summit is cat. Collector's Cage is a new white hideaway artifact. Classic mechanic, always happy to see it. And it distributes +1/+1 counters. Can never get too much of that. And it has Coven. Do you remember Coven? Nope. Yeah, that's why it's not keyword on the card. But it's mechanically on the card. Yep, if you have 3 creatures with different power when the ability resolves, you get to cast the hidden away card for free. So this is how white does fight rigging, right? Essentially, except you can activate this one at instant speed. Instant speed fight rigging? Shut up and take my money. All of it. Okay. Summon this card. Do you like dinosaurs? Do I look like a little boy to you? No? You look like a grown man. Exactly. So of course I like dinosaurs. Oh, thank God. Who doesn't like dinosaurs? Today's card is Vault-Born Tyrant. When it or another big creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Sounds like a supercharged honey mammoth. Kind of, except when this one dies, you get an artifact token copy of it. And that copy draws cards too? Absolutely. So it's a huge green creature to get standard players excited before they realize it's unplayable. Pretty much. But Commander players are going to love this thing. Thank you, Commander players, for protecting all of my silly investments. I'll take 1,000. Okay, summon this cat. Visage Bandit is a 4-mana clone with Set's mechanics. I'll take 1 for my Garuda deck, but I'm not investing. Hear me out. The Set's mechanic is plot. So I don't get it when I pay for it. Still pass. The plot cost is only 3, so it can start copying creatures as early as turn 4. Can it copy legendary creatures? Yes, but the legend rule still applies. So a turn 4 Ratadribik becomes 2 Ratadribiks because of the trigger. Or a turn 5 Terror of the Peaks becomes 2 Terror of the Peaks. Or an on-curve Atali has your opponent scoop, because it's 2 Atalis. Nice. Especially if you had that Ratadribik down from earlier. Could you imagine? I'll take 1,000. Okay. Summon this cat. Pest Infestation is a commander card from the Strixhaven Commander product. It makes those little guys that gain life? Yep, for XX green, you create X pest tokens and destroy up to X artifacts or enchantments. Sounds powerful. What's its market value? As of the last time I checked, it's going for around $6, but it was recently reprinted. And what are the reprints going for? About a quarter. A $250,000? What? No, $0.25. I know reprints lower prices, but this is extreme. Well, it was reprinted in a standard product. Oh, so a whole bunch of Commander players don't even know the reprints out there. Got it. That's my theory. Well, let's grab up a whole bunch before the price stabilizes. You got it. Also, that was kind of weird. What? Actually talking about, like, market value with you. Well, don't get used to it, kid. Okay, sell me... The heck are you doing? Doing an impression of today's card. Your character work is lousy. Knock it off. Ouch. Just tell me about the card. Aven Interrupter is a rude bird. Well, that tracks. It's a flash flyer for 3 that exiles a spell off the stack and plots it. So they get it for free just later. Well, the bird has a static effect that forces spells your opponents cast from exile or their graveyard to cost an additional 2. Not just a plotted spell? No, flashback and cascade are absolutely affected. And I can flash this in after my opponent's Atali has resolved, but before they free cast anything. Yep, that is my kind of bird. Let's go. Okay. Summon this card. Do you remember Obika Brute Chronologist? Who? The fun build-around Grixis commander from Commander Legends? It's one of those 3-color legends that has you build a commander deck a certain way that only works if the commander's live online. Exactly. Well, she's back. Is this one at least good if you don't jump through a ton of hoops? Well, this one is standard legal. Okay, cool. But no, she's very much a build-around commander card. Ugh. She needs to hit an opponent, but when she does, you get extra upkeeps. So you need to have good upkeep triggers, but also some way to make her evasive? Well, and boost her power, preferably. She has menace though, so that's something. You janky Commander fans, have fun, but I'm out. Okay, sell me this card. Do you remember Mana Drain? That card that's strictly bet a counterspell now that Mana Burn's not a thing? Yep, well, it's gotten a reprint in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Wait, it's in standard? No, it's on the bonus sheet. So why is it in a standard set? It's legal in draft? Are draft players happy to have it? Not at all. So I ask again, why is it in a standard set? Well, now Commander players can get their hands on it. Are they happy to have it? It's tough to say. All I really see is people complaining about it on Twitter. Well, as an investor, I'm not happy to have it because this devalues the ones I already have. So that's a no? Correct. Okay. Sell me this cat. Did you play any Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft? Not really, but I heard dinosaurs were good and caves were lousy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But one of the caves cards is decent. It's not that one that makes bats, right? Oh god, no. It's Spelunking. What's it do? It's a 3-drop enchantment that lets all of your lands enter untapped, and it gives you a growth spiral effect on ETB. So it's a new Amulet of Vigor? Well, Amulet's a trigger, and this one isn't, but otherwise, yeah, pretty much. So it's not as good in like Modern Prime Time, but you can still play it in Commander. Definitely, but a lot of Commander players don't really understand how good Amulet is anyway, given that so many utility lands and budget lands enter tapped. Well, let's get in on it before word gets out and the price absolutely skyrockets. Wait, is there another line of text on that? Yeah, don't worry about that. Caves are lousy in every format. Okay, summon this cat. You like Muldrifter, right? Well, sure, who doesn't like Muldrifter? Well, get a load of this. Yeah! Do you get it? It's like an Eldrazi Muldrifter. Oh, okay, I get it, but why? Why not? It's a colorless 7-drop, and it evokes for 2 and a blue. And it draws 2 on ETB. This one's actually a cast trigger. Oh, so this one doesn't synergize with all my Commander ETB shenanigans? No, but it behaves similar to other Eldrazi we've seen in the past. Is there any world where I would play this over Muldrifter? Probably not in Constructed, but Modern Horizons 3 is going to have a ton of Tron support, so we need a couple of just big colorless 7-drops for draft. Okay, got it. Hard pass. Also, why are you selling me limited cards? For the content? The content? Don't worry about it. Okay. Summon his cat. High Noon captures the moment in the Western movie when 2 gunslingers stand opposite each other, staring, waiting for the other to flinch. How do you get that on a magic cat? By being an enchantment that only allows players to play 1 spell each turn. Kind of like Archon of Emeria? Kind of, except this doesn't affect lands in any way, it doesn't die to creature removal, and it only costs 2. Oh wow, that sounds like a shoo-in for my Grand Arbiter Augustine Commander deck. It actually has a red activated ability, so you can't use it there, I'm afraid. Lame, I'm out. But that activated ability is Lava Axe. Okay, I'm back in. Also, it's funny how the card High Noon keeps it nighttime if you have a werewolf down. Okay, I'm out again, because you just reminded me day-night was a thing. Okay, summon his cat. Artifacts are neat. Sure. Especially big artifacts, if you know what I'm saying. Is this gonna be safe for work? Sure, for now. For now? Simulacrum Synthesizer is a 3-drop artifact that triggers every time an artifact with mana value 3 or more enters the battlefield. But only once per turn. Nope. But only if you cast them. Nope. But only for non-token artifacts. Nuh-uh. That is going to trigger so often in the right decks. Exactly. And each trigger makes a construct. That board is going to get huge. I'll take it. That's not the only thing that's huge, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, we're not doing this. Security! Okay. Summon his cat. Remember when we talked about Flare of Cultivation a few weeks ago? That new free green spell for Modern? How could I forget? Well, we have the blue one now too, and it's called Flare of Denial. Okay, with a name like that, it's gotta be a counter spell. Yep, it counters any spell for 1 blue, or you can sacrifice a non-token blue creature instead of paying its mana cost. Okay, green has Arboreal Grazer, but what does blue have that can make that worthwhile? Actually, there are a lot of blue 1-drops out there, and the moment you can hold up a counterspell after putting one online is pretty nice. Like what? Slippery Boggle, Delver of Secrets, Mausoleum Wanderer come to mind. Okay, not bad. I'm personally really looking forward for an excuse to play Wandering Ones. Do you remember these little guys? I remember that flavor text. Doggone it, you got a sale. Okay. Summon his cat. Do you hate unfinished cycles? Absolutely. Are we finally getting Riftstone Portal in the other colors? That's your first guess? No, we're revisiting Elemental Blasts in Modern Horizons 3. Oh, wow. So green Elemental Blast or white Elemental Blast get to be a thing? Not yet. Oh, black Elemental Blast? Oh, I can't wait to see that. What? It's Null Elemental Blast. What the heck color is Null? It's not a color. It represents colorless, and it hates on multicolor spells and permanents. Spoilers aren't done? Maybe there'll be more? Did you want to buy some? I mean, yeah. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, summon his cat. You know how green used to be the absolute best at like gigantic dumb spells? They aren't anymore? Not really, and they haven't been, because the Eldrazi are all colorless. Echoes of Eternity really shows that off. It's part, like, souped-up Panharmonicon, but also part souped-up Double Vision. That has to cost, like, 9, right? It costs 6, but it only triggers on colorless spells, or abilities. That sounds powerful, and exactly the kind of thing that Eldrazi nuts will go crazy for. I mean, I think so too, but I remember how you reacted when I brought up Forsaken Monument back in Zendikar Rising. And passing on that cost me thousands. That is not happening again. Give me 1 million of these freaking Echo doohickeys. Okay, Selmid's Cat. Knight of the Reliquary is a classic creature that lets you tutor up lands into play by sacrificing other lands, and it gets a stat boost for lands in your graveyard. Sounds good, I'm interested. Great, but that's not what I'm selling today. Oh, White of the Reliquary is basically the same card, except it's a zombie and it cares about creatures now. They just did the Champion of the Parish thing again. Yep. Jeez, what's next? I'm waiting for Unnatural Odor. Wouldn't put it past them. Anyway, that white sounds a lot like Fiend Artisan. You mean that card that was selling for $1 a year ago and is now worth 10? Fiend Artisan is 10 bucks? Yeah, it sees play in Modern and Legacy. Okay, when the price dips post-release, scoop up a ton of these whites. Okay, Somebody's Cat. Do you remember Hunted Wumpus? Sure, that card sucks, but it's fun. But it sucks. But it's fun. But it's fun. Well, anyway, the Eldrazi got to it, and now we have Wumpus Aberration. Does it suck? Well, Power Creep got this one too, so not so much. Well, that's something, I guess. It's a 6/6 for 3 and a green with Trample, and if you cast it without spending colorless mana, one of your opponents gets to just drop a creature onto the battlefield. So if I have colorless mana, it's just a 6/6 for 4. Pretty nice stats, huh? Sure, but that's not worth much. But think about the political implications in Commander. It's no tempting worm, but you're right, that does help kind of drive some demand. So I'll take a few. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Okay, Somebody's Cat. Ornum's Chant is your kind of card. What makes you say that? You like being in control of your game actions, right? Yeah. You play a lot of white decks, right? Sure. And you just love telling people to knock it off. Oh, most definitely. Well, this instant costs a single white and says target player can't play spells this turn. So I can preemptively shut off my opponent's counter spells or win con for a whole turn. Yep, and if you kick it, creatures can't attack this turn either. They reprinted Time Walk in white, and it's going into Modern? Not exactly, but almost. Close enough. I'll take it. Like all of them. Forever. Okay. Somebody's Cat. We've got more Eldrazi stuff from Modern Horizons 3. Not surprised. What's the story? It's Devourer of Destiny. If it's in your opening hand, you get to look at the top 4 cards and basically pick which one of them you're going to draw. So the rest of the card then is bad to make up for that early free value, right? Not really. It's a 7-drop colorless, so you can pitch it to Ugin's Labyrinth, and when you do finally cast it, you do get to exile a permanent that's 1 or more colors. So it's card selection early, removal late, and it's synergy for Eldrazi-themed decks pretty much the whole time. Pretty much. Commander players probably have better options. But if MH3 does in fact boost Tron the way it kind of looks like it might, this card might see some play. Okay, I can jam with that. Give me a few dozen. Okay, Somebody's Cat. Ulamog the Defiler might be the best Ulamog we've ever seen. I doubt that. Have you read Ceaseless Hunger? Oh, I have. Strap in. All right. It's a 7/7 for 10. Only a 7/7? Psh, pass. I have barely begun. Sorry. When you cast it, exile half of target opponent's library rounded up. Really? Mill's the best they got. It has Ward, sacrifice 2 permanents. Annihilate a wood? It enters with +1/+1 counters on it, equal to the highest mana value in exile. Oh, there are the stats. Okay. Yep, and it has Annihilator X, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. But how is its flavor text? What? I'm kidding. When a card could cost 15, but it costs 10, you buy it. How many do you want? How many can you get me? Okay, Somebody's Cat. We have a new Kozilek in Modern Horizons 3. The Broken Reality. Is it as broken as Ulamog? I'm not sure, but it is really good. I'll be the judge of that. What's it do? It's a 9/9 for 9. Cheap for a Titan. When you cast it, up to 2 target players manifest 2 cards out of their hand. And that's not optional. Nope. Then you draw a card for each card manifest this way. So you turn 2 of your opponent's cards into grizzly bears. And then you cycle 2 of your cards effectively, but turn them into grizzly bears instead of discarding them. Colorless grizzly bears that you can turn face up for their mana cost if they're creature cards. 5 for 1 is a pretty good rate last time I checked. And Kozilek buffs colorless creatures +3/+2. So I get card advantage and board advantage? Oh yeah, this reality's broken for sure. I'll send you our invoice. You better. Okay, Somebody's Cat. Ulalek Fused Atrocity is exactly what it sounds like. Ulamog and Kozilek fused? Apparently, though it is in the Commander product, so who knows when that happened. Forget when, how? You know how Ugin described the Eldrazi Titans, kind of like the way that a fish would see a hand reaching underwater? I mean, sure, think about it. Wait, are those two titans just holding hands? They've got to be an item, right? And let's be real, Ulalek, way catchier than Benefer. Fair. But is the card good? Sure, it's a legendary Eldrazi creature. You can put it in the command zone. It lets you play all 5 colors. And it does have a powerful ability if your deck has Eldrazi in it. Oh, it's one of those. Yep. I mean, I'm uninspired, but these always sell. So sure, I'll pick up a few. Okay. Summit is Cad. Genku Future Shaper is the first depiction we're getting of Tamiyo's husband. Oh, Mr. Field Researcher. What's his deal? He's a 2/5 for 4 Moonfolk who creates tokens every time a non-token permanent you control leaves the battlefield. And he flies, right? What? No, he doesn't. But all the original Kamigawa Moonfolk flew. I guess that changed in 1,000 years. Do they still live in clouds? Never mind that. The tokens he makes represent the children that he had with Tamiyo. Oh, so there's a rat. Yeah, and there are a couple other ones too. Nice, I guess. He also has this ability to put counters on all your creatures, but it's really expensive. I gotta say, this card sounds like clunky Vorthos bait. Possibly. But isn't it great that Tamiyo's memory will live on with her family? Or it could live on in her literal living memory that exists for some reason. So you're out. How did you guess? Okay, Summit is Cad. Nadu Winged Wisdom is a bird wizard. I'm in. Great. Do you want to hear what it does? Sure, I guess. It's a 3-drop 3/4 with flying that gives all of your creatures, itself included, a Risen Reef style effect that triggers whenever they're targeted. So you are drawing cards and ramping just whenever your stuff gets targeted? Yep, but it only triggers twice per turn. Per creature. And it triggers off of any spell or ability. Like equip abilities? Absolutely. By the way, you may want to sell off any Shukos that you have lying around. This card gave them a massive hype bump. Already done. And I'll use all that money to buy out these bird wizards. Okay, Summit is Cad. You know Swan Song? Sure, 1-mana counter spells tend to be good. Well, we have a new one called Strix Serenade. I know Swan's trumpet, so them having a song kind of makes sense, but aren't owls like silent nighttime predators? Never mind that. Okay? This one can counter artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers, but it leaves behind a 2/2 bird. Now, those are 3 important card types, but knowing that you're going to leave your opponent with a 2/2 flyer, I mean, that's a big drawback in 1v1. Sure, it might not be great in Modern, but can you imagine it in CEDH? Yeah, I suppose 2 flying power isn't as impactful there. Exactly. Okay, I'll take a few dozen, but be ready to offload them fast if they fall out of favor this first year. Okay, Summit is Cad. What if I told you they put Phyrexian Altar on a creature? I'd say that's nuts. That card goes infinite with a sneeze. Yup, and so does Warren's Soul Trader. Warren? So it's a goblin. A zombie goblin wizard. We're putting 3 relevant creature types in the type line now? It's wild. It's a 3/3 for 2 black, pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure token. Wait a minute, Phyrexian Altar doesn't let you use the mana on future turns. This one does. And it even puts artifacts into play if you care about that. But it costs life to do it. Exactly, there had to be some kind of safety valve on this mechanic. But 1 Blood Artist effect completely undoes that downside. Well, yeah. So it goes infinite with a sneeze. Oh, you don't even need a sneeze. A yawn will do it. Yep, gimme. Okay, Summit is Cad. What if I told you they fixed Necropotence? The One Ring came out last year, I heard about that. No, this one is way closer to original Necro, just fixed this time. I don't think you can fix Necro while staying true to it, but what you got? Necro Dominance is a legendary enchantment for black that makes you skip your draw step. Okay, on track so far. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay X life and draw X cards. Oh, so it's only triggered, and they count as drawing now. Yep, Sheldred will be happy to hear that. Your maximum hand size is reduced to 5, and if a card or even token would go to your graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. There's the fix. So what do you think? I'll take a few in case I'm wrong, but I do not think this design is going to stand up compared to modern draw engines. Really? I mean, have you seen the One Ring? Okay, Summit is Cad. Remember when we talked about new Ajani a few weeks back? How could I forget? Well, there are 5 new Origin Walkers, 1 for each color. Who are we talking about today? Ral Monsoon Mage. Oh, cool. Was he as energetic and happy before his spark got ignited? Not at all. He is a super sad boy in 2 different arts. Dang. Imagine if Chris Carrabba from Dashboard Confessional played Storm so many times he just became a Goblin Electromancer. So Storm players should like this, right? I sure hope so, because those are the only players who will ever use this card. Aren't you trying to sell me this thing? Oh, right. This shows conceit. Yes, Storm players will absolutely love this card. It's the best Storm card. Why are you in sales? That is a great question that I have honestly asked myself in the past. Which is why I stream on Twitch now. Who are you talking to? Okay, sell me this card. Remember Gilded Drake? I remember ruining people's day with it and the Eternal Wanda as uptick. Yeah, that sounds super upsetting. Why? I have a ton of fun playing with everybody's creatures. It's a blast. Well, you're gonna love Volatile Storm Drake. It's basically the same thing, but this time with an energy requirement. Shamelessly copying something with a proven track record of success is tight. Yeah. Oh, this one also has hexproof from triggered or activated abilities. So I can't blink it with my Emperor anymore? I'm afraid not, but you can still target it with spells. But Ephemerate on an Isochron Scepter still works. Yeah, now that you mention it, I suppose that's super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Okay, sell me this cat. Remember how upset you got the last time I mentioned Lurgoyfs? Just respect the OG, okay? Wait, you don't hate Tarmogoyf? Of course not, cat's great. Awesome. Well, what if I told you that they were making a commander that pays you off for having Lurgoyfs specifically? Is this just some Sultai graveyard thing? No, they're called Disa the Restless, and they automatically reanimate any Lurgoyf permanent you mill. That sounds like a good way to support an archetype that likes to fill the graveyard up. Exactly, and they even make Tarmogoyf tokens whenever you hit your opponent. I'm sorry, I think I misheard. No, you didn't. Tarmogoyf tokens! Given that Urborg Lurgoyf is like relatively new, this command has got to have blue in it, right? Nope, it's Jund. Jund Goyf Commander? Jund Goyf Commander. That is all you had to say. Honestly, why'd you say all that other stuff? Okay, sell me this cat. I know how much you love Wheel of Fortune. I mean, who doesn't? Pat Sajak is a national treasure. No, the magic card. Oh yeah, that too. Well, they're giving us a new one with Wheel of Potential. Hey, Nasa, you ready? Well, this one's a little more fair. Boo. For 2 into red, you get 3 energy, and then you can pay any amount of energy. Each player can then exile their hand and draw cards equal to the amount of energy that you spent on it. Why exile, not discard? Because you can cast cards you own in exile until the end of your next turn. But my opponents can't do that. Nope, their cards are just gone. So why would they wheel like this? Well, the more energy you spend, the more cards they get. Maybe they'll be tempted to roll those dice. Oh, that's an interesting design. And in an energy commander deck, I bet that's good. Definitely. And it being a May means that you have a lot fewer feels bad moments than other wheels. Sorry, Narset. You in? Yeah, I'll take a couple. Okay. Sell me this cat. Today's Flipwalker is actually amazing. Are we gonna find out Vivian went through like a Sailor Moon phase? Unfortunately not. We're looking at Grist Voracious Larva. Did she go through a Sailor Moon phase? Not that I'm aware of. Bummer. But she is a 1-drop with Death Touch that flips into the Planeswalker whenever a creature, including herself, enters the battlefield from the graveyard. You have to spend 1 green when it happens, but that's no big deal. Sounds good, but is the Planeswalker worth it? Only if you like filling your graveyard, creating tokens on a plus ability, having situational removal, and having a game-breaking ultimate. That sounds like a template for a really good classic Walker. Yep, and it fits perfectly in the current Yawgmoth decks. Do you mean Modern, Legacy, or Commander? Yes. Okay, so what you're saying is demand is never gonna not exist for this thing. That's my guess. Yeah, hook me up. You got it. Okay. Summon this cat. Wrath of the Skies is a board wipe. How'd you know? Seriously? The first word out of your mouth was wrath. Fair enough. Well, it costs X white. You get X energy, and then you can pay any amount of energy and destroy all artifacts, enchantments, and creatures with mana value equal to or less than the energy spent. So it's a reasonable energy source late in the game, and it's like a super efficient board wipe if you have other energy sources available. Pretty much. For as little as white, you can ruin your opponent's entire day. That is actively disgusting. Well, only if energy decks become viable. Do you think the energy decks are going to become viable? With sweepers like this? Absolutely. In some commander pods, this is practically going to be 2-mana farewell. I can't say no to that. Great. I'm just waiting for the sweeper that hits a bunch of stuff but doesn't avoid planeswalkers. I'll bring some of those your way soon. Like and subscribe for those later. Who are you talking to? Okay, sell me this cat. Modern Horizons 3 is full of classic callbacks. I've noticed you've been bringing a ton of those these days. And you keep buying them, so whose fault is that? Well, fair enough. What nostalgia bait am I buying today? A reference to Recurring Nightmare. Oh, I love busted reanimation. How's it work? It's called Chthonian Nightmare, and it works basically the same way, but this time with an energy requirement. What was it called again? Chthonian Nightmare. Are you sure you pronounced that right? Oh, absolutely not, but who's to say? Folks in the comments section, I'd imagine. Well, fair fair enough, but how do you like the card? It sounds powerful, and adding energy definitely makes it more fair. Exactly. Unfortunately, though, I think that's gonna narrow its appeal a lot. It'll probably be fun to play, but it's just not a smart investment, so I'll pass. Dang. Okay, summon this card. Today I brought the white free spell from MH3. Good deal. I'm glad we're done with the days of white being just by default the worst card in these cycles. Me too. Well, Flare of Fortitude gives your permanents indestructible and hexproof, and your life total can't change. But you can still be targeted. Yes. And you can still lose the game if your opponent combos off. Well, yes, unless their combo requires you to take damage or lose life. This sounds like the fairest Teferi's protection we have ever seen. I suppose so, mostly because sacrificing a non-token creature seems like an actual cost. So even though we're not spending mana, it's not really free. Yeah, isn't it funny how these days fair means unplayable and competitive? I try not to think about that. Are you interested in the card though? Sure, I'll take a couple. Okay, summon this cat. Remember when Cartographer's Hawk came out and people's minds were just blown? Holy crap, like it's land ramp? What's happening? Oh my goodness. Sensationalizing the past is fun. All right, so what about that? Well, now we have a better one in OTJ Commander called Sand Scout. So how's it better than the Hawk? It triggers on ETB and can grab deserts, which includes a lot of dual lands. So I need to be running deserts? Yes, but even non-desert decks can run a couple without much of a downside at all. I'm glad white gets some kind of ramp to help it kind of keep up, but I'm not sure that's worth it. It's also a token generator for some reason. Wait, really? Yep, it produces Naya Sand Warrior tokens. Why though? Why not? Touche. Hey, I trust that dirt cheap because it's in the Commander product. Yep, sure, I can spare a few bucks. Get a ton of them. Okay. Summon this cat. What if Farewell was black? Did anyone ask for that? Well, nobody admits to running Farewell, but it's still pretty pricey despite a lot of reprints, so there must be some demand. Alright, how does the black one work? Well, it's destroy instead of exile, and it can hit creatures, planeswalkers, battles, and opponents' counters. Finally, something that can remove poison counters! Yeah, but only your opponents. Well, at least this one doesn't hit graveyards. Oh, did I not mention the graveyard exile mode? Why is that a thing? Because Farewell? So everybody's gonna hate this cat, right? On social media where people can see them? Oh, absolutely. But that's not gonna stop them from running it. Absolutely not. Yep, I'll take 1,000. Okay, summon this cat. You're not a fan of paying your taxes, right? Wait, no, did somebody say something? Wait, you a cop? No, I mean in Commander. Oh, yeah, I mean, sure, yeah. Well, there's a card from Thunder Junction that lets you bypass Commander tax if you're doing a token deck. I'm listening. We Ride at Dawn is an enchantment that gives all legendary creature spells you cast convoke, and when your commander attacks, you make a mercenary. So any haste commander gets like an immediate rebate on the next commander cast. Assuming the board doesn't get swept? Absolutely. That sounds really powerful in decks with a lot of legends. This thing's gotta be expensive, right? No, it's less than $1/4 right now. Well, let's scoop them all up before this gets featured on the command zone and that changes. Okay, summon this cat. In honor of Father's Day, I wanted to pitch one of my dad's favorite cards. Your dad plays Magic? That's nice. Yeah, and he really likes elves, so Priest of Titania got his attention back in the day. It's an elf, so I assume it's a Lord, an Overrun effect, or a Mana Dork. It's the last one. It taps for a green for each elf on the battlefield. Not elf you control? Nope. If your opponent has an incidental Llanowar elf or Fierce Empath on the field, it counts them. Why would I run this over something like Circle of Dreams Druid? Well, this one costs 1 green instead of green, and it has stunning art by Rebecca Gay. That actually sounds super efficient for elf ball decks. And it's an uncommon in Modern Horizons 3, so it's legal in Modern. It wasn't before. Wait a minute, there are not a lot of elves in MH3. Nope, so a ton of people don't realize how good it is. The current printing is selling at a fraction the price of the original. Buy! Just buy it. Buy it all. Okay. Summon this cat. Leonardo da Vinci is getting a card in Magic the Gathering. All right. Am I supposed to be excited? Well, I think a lot of people will be. He's a mono blue legend that cares about artifacts, specifically Thopters, which, makes sense. Because of his world-famous flying machine concept? Is this some kind of anime reference? What? He's a renowned inventor and artist. Like from One Piece? I didn't get that far into that one. No, from the Italian Renaissance. Like the actual thing that happened? Yes, in the real world. So what's he doing in Magic? It's a part of the Assassin's Creed tie-in. Oh no, that's a cheeky backdoor to get real people on a cardboard. I'll take it. Okay. Sell me this cat. You know how all colorless board wipes are bad? You think Ugin is bad? Well, a new Emrakul? Well, I mean, and there's all this dust. That thing's solid. Look, you're gonna have to forget all of those and just go with me on this false premise I'm trying to establish here, okay? Okay, geez, so colorless board wipes are bad. And now we get selective obliteration. It costs 5. Each player picks a color and then exiles all permanents they control that aren't colorless or only the color they pick. So this doesn't affect colorless or monocolored decks at all. But what about greedy multicolor decks? I mean, it's a setback, sure, but they have some control over what disappears, right? Yeah, and that makes it a fair commander board wipe. It's 2024. Yeah, this again, huh? Fair means bad. You know this. I'm really gonna hate that talking point, aren't I? Oh yeah. Okay. Sell me this cat. Zeroland of the Claw is an underrated legendary creature for dragon fans out there. That's saying a lot. Well, it's mono red and it has this ability that can sneak attack a dragon from your library to the battlefield. So it gets haste, but you gotta sack it at the end of turn. Exile, but yeah, that sounds really awesome given how many red dragons there are. Absolutely. You can go sheer power, or you can tee up weird combos. Yeah, this little dragon sounds like a great commander card. I'll take a couple. Well, he's actually not a dragon. Wait, what is he? The creature type is Lizard Shaman. Just lizard? Well, he's a Viashinu. Wait, isn't that its own creature type? Not anymore. All Viashinu have been errata to lizard. That is weird. Why? Leonin have been typed cat this whole time. Huh. Okay. Summit is cat. Conspiracy is a trend-setting enchantment from Mercadian Masks. What kind of trend are we talking? Changing creature types. Like Maskwood Nexus? Yep, but this one costs 3 black instead of 4 generic. Oh, so it's gotta be better, right? Well, Maskwood gives you all creature types, which is awesome. Conspiracy has you pick one when it enters the battlefield, and that's what you get. Oh, so this is like that blue one from Ixalan. Arcane Adaptation? Pretty much. Both of those are a lot worse than Maskwood Nexus. In a lot of decks, sure, but redundancy on this effect is kind of cool, right? I mean, I guess. Does this thing at least have good collective value? Well, they're reprinting it in Assassin's Creed. Ah, yes, the old thematic reprint value killer. So that's a no? That's a no. Okay. Summit is cat. The Capitoline Triad is a god artificer from Assassin's Creed. Are you sure you pronounced that correctly? Nope. They cost 10, but they have affinity for historic cards in your graveyard. That is awfully specific. Is self-mill artifacts a thing? Not that I'm aware of, outside of like modular Nethroi, although that would be awesome. But that kind of a deck would hate the next part of this card. What's that? You can exile 30 mana out of your graveyard of historic cards, and then you get an emblem that says creatures you control have base stats 9/9. So if a deck can set this up, it's a mana-less mega anthem. The top end potential on this is bonkers, and Timmy Whale's gonna eat this thing up. I will take it. Okay. Summit is cat. Assassin's Creed is bringing us a 4-mana blue board wipe. It's not a destroy board wipe, is it? I remember how badly that turned out. Oh, absolutely not. It's a bounce. Awesome. It hits each non-land permanent that isn't historic. What does historic mean again? Artifacts, sagas, and legendaries. I got burnt hard when I bought into Filter Out. How's this one different from that? Well, you can use it to undo your opponent's O-rings and get your permanents back, but not the artifact ones. True, you can also use it to remove key combo pieces before your opponents execute a kill, assuming they can't immediately replay it. Okay, fair, but it can bounce non-legendary creatures at instant speed, so you could play it in response to a Craterhoof Behemoth. Ah, got him. All right, I'm in. You got me. Okay. Sell me this cat. Remember Zombify? The reanimation spell that was in a ton of core sets back in the day? That's the one. Well, they improved upon it. Sure, Dredge Return. Well, no. There's Cruelty of Gix. No. Beacon of Unrest. Dang it, no. It's called Restart Sequence. It's basically Zombify with free running. What is free running? It gives spells an alternate cost if you've hit an opponent with your commander or an assassin. So it's Spectacle, just worse. Well, I would have said flavorful Spectacle. That flavor is worse than the original. Fine, whatever. Are you interested? Why would I be? There's so many better options. Okay. Summit is cat. You know how in Throne of Eldraine they did creative twists on traditional folklore artifacts? Like Embercleave being kind of a loose top-down Excalibur? Well, Assassin's Creed's not exactly subtle, so now we get Excalibur. Just Excalibur? Just Excalibur. Well, it's got name recognition, I guess. It's a 12-drop that has affinity for the total mana value of historic permanents you control. That includes artifacts, right? Yep. So all the affinity creatures cost nothing and reduce this by 7. Got it. Yep, and it gives the equipped creature +10, +0, and vigilance. Sounds like an awkward Colossus hammer. What's its equip cost? Only 2, however, it can only target legendary creatures. Any Voltron commander could use that. I'll take a couple. Okay. Summon this card. Crystal Skull Isu Spyglass is a new mana rock from the Assassin's Creed set. Commander players love the mana rocks. What sets this one apart? Well, it's 4 mana. Oof. And you can look at the top card of your deck anytime and play historic cards off of it. Do you get to play lands with it? Yes, but only historic lands. How many historic lands are there really? All the artifact lands, legendary lands, even Urza's Saga counts. Okay, fair. This sounds like the kind of card that's good if artifact lands make up a good portion of your mana base. Exactly. But pretty inefficient for everybody else. Oh, I'll take 1 for my Urza Chief Artificer deck, but I'm not investing. Fair enough. Oof. 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 Oh. Ooh. Okay. Summon this card. Desmond Miles is the protagonist for a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, so naturally he gets a card. Wait a minute, those games have a consistent protagonist? Yeah, the early ones are his story, even though he's not a very iconic character. You'll learn something new every day. What's he do? He's a black creature that wants assassins on board or in your graveyard, and he has this ability when he deals damage to a player that surveils a lot and kind of helps supercharge that. But aren't a lot of assassins in Magic other colors? Yeah, there are a lot in blue and red and some of the other colors too, yeah. So what's the idea of this commander being just black? Honestly, I think he's meant to be in the 99 of a deck led by one of the other 3-color assassins. But isn't he the protagonist? In theory, yeah. I'll take a couple of whatever the special foil version is, but that's it. Okay. Summon this cat. Duskmourn is all about paranormal horror, right? Sure, poltergeists and Santa's elves and stuff, right? Yeah, something like that. Well, anyway, Screaming Nemesis is bringing big Banshee energy to red. Nice. So how's that work mechanically? Well, if damage is dealt to Screaming Nemesis, it deals that much damage back out to any other target. Oh, cool. Phyrexian Vindicated text in red? That sounds pretty good. But that's not all. If a player gets hit by some of that damage, they can't gain life. For the rest of the turn? Nope. For the rest of the game. Wait a minute, this gives your opponents an emblem that says they can't gain life? Wait, who said anything about an emblem? Why isn't it an emblem? Because this sounds better? Will it play better? Don't worry about that. I mean, people like hoes in life gain, so yeah, I'm in. Okay. Summon this cat. Remember how fun it was to play against Veto in Standard? You don't mean the 4-mana one, right? Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, giving life gain a drain ability is great. Well, there's a non-legendary creature in Duskmourn named Enduring Tenacity that has the same static ability. With a name like that, I'm guessing this thing's hard to kill. Yup, when it dies as a creature, it comes back as a non-creature enchantment. So people better bring the exile removal. Almost definitely. Well, it's a good thing so much of it'll have rotated by then. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. So would you like to buy some? Sure, this thing sounds powerful. Okay. Summon this cat. The Duskmourn spookiness continues, but Bloomborough spoilers haven't even officially started yet. Nope, but we had a MagicCon this past weekend, so we get some premature hype. Fair enough, carry on. Twitching Doll is a 2-mana dork in green. So what's its gimmick? When you tap it for mana, it gets a nest counter. What does a nest counter do? Nothing by itself, but you can tap and sacrifice the doll and make a 2/2 reach spider for every counter on it. For each nest counter? Well, yes, but every other counter too. So this thing gives +1/+1 counter decks or even charge counter decks like a different angle they can work on. Exactly. And if you have an Arachnophobia or LGS, them cringing at this card is going to be a really clear draft signal. Nice. I'm in. Okay. Summon this cat. Could you imagine if Flickerwisp cosplayed as the art from Swan Song? Did you hit your head on the way in here? No. Well, I mean, not hard anyway. Yeah, you might want to get that looked at. That does not look good. The card is Salvation Swan, and it's coming in Bloomborough. Oh, so you're not, like, hallucinating. I don't think so. Anyway, it's a bird with flash that does the Flickerwisp thing, but it can only target non-flyers. Why only non-flyers? Because when they come back, they get a flying counter. Okay, so kind of like a proactive luminous broodmoth kind of effect. Maybe, yeah, a little bit. I mean, that sounds good, but not being able to target flyers makes it tough to combo with this thing. True. Yeah, what the heck? I'll take a chance on this one. That's great. I think I need to lay down for a second. Brenda, could you get janitorial up here? Yeah, thank you. Okay, Selma-Discad. MH3 brought a ton of new Eldrazi players to Commander, right? I'd assume so, sure. Well, and a lot of the support cards for that archetype are blue, right? Why is everything a question with you? Well, what if I told you there's an old card that slots into that archetype like a glove? I'd tell you to stop asking questions with mixed metaphors. Energy Tap is a sorcery for a single blue that taps a creature you control, they have to be untapped, and then you get colorless mana equal to that creature's mana value. So if you get a 7-drop, maybe with affinity down, this one spell will give you 7 colorless mana and almost guarantee you can play that Eldrazi Titan in your hand. How much are these going for? A couple of bucks for the black bordered ones, but if you don't mind the white border, it's about a quarter. All right, that sounds like a fun gamble. I'll pick up a couple. Okay. Selma-Discad. Cards like Soul Warden are absolutely busted, right? I don't know about busted, but I mean, they do good work, sure. Well, what if they gave you energy too? I mean, I wouldn't care that much unless I have a good energy sink. And what if they were a good sink for all that energy? Could we mix up this format, please? Well, Guide of Souls is the new Soul Warden from MH3, and it is incredible. How is it an energy sink? When you attack, you can pay 3 energy and put 2 +1/+1 counters and a flying counter on one of the attacking creatures. Do Commander players want that? Not necessarily, but it does see play in modern aggro, and probably will for a long time. Well, it sounds like that price isn't going to be going down anytime soon. Let's stock up on these. Okay, Selma-Discad. Do you like elf decks? I like taking money from elf players. Then I've got a card for you. Great! It's called Taunting Elf, and its stock is really low right now. Why is it so cheap? I honestly don't know, because it is crazy powerful. Okay, what's it do? It's a 1-drop elf that has to be blocked by every creature able to do so whenever it attacks. I thought we liked evasion. Why do we want to be forcing blocks all of a sudden? Well, because everything else you have is going to be getting through because the blockers are tied up. You add indestructible to this thing and you're not going to be meaningfully blocked again. Ooh, okay, that does sound powerful. Yeah, let's scoop up a bunch and let's just hope some big content creator talks about it soon. Well, don't you worry, because I'm working on it. I said big. Okay. Selma-Discad. Ygra, Eater of All, is an elemental cat in Bloomborough. More cute cats, people love those. This one isn't exactly cute. It is a monstrous 6/6, which kind of makes sense since the point of view characters are mice. With Ward, sacrifice of food. That's awfully specific. How many players are gonna have food lying around? Well, a lot actually, because every other creature is an artifact food while this is in play. Oh wow, can people sacrifice them for life like normal food tokens? Yep, but you may not want to, because every time a food dies, Ygra gets 2 +1/+1 counters. Yikes, this thing's gonna get huge. Yeah, but it doesn't have trample, and because all of your opponent's creatures are artifacts, it even turns off cards like Go for the Throat. Dang. But Fade from History, Bane of Progress, and Seeds of Innocence all exist, so... Dang! You in? Oh, I'm in. Okay. Selma-Discad. Bloomborough is batching creature types in fun ways. Yeah, I heard something about that. And Valley Rotcaller supports all of the creature types in black, which are squirrels, bats, lizards, and rats. What's it do? It has menace, and whenever you attack, you drain each opponent for the number of those types of creatures you have online. So the number of rats you have. Or bats, lizards, or squirrels. This is a card for rat decks, and you know it. But it's a squirrel. So a tree rat, same difference. Not really, it doesn't synergize with the other rat cards. While that's a shame, rat players are gonna love this drain. I'll take 1,000. Okay. Selma-Discad. So classes are back in Bloomborough. I suppose if they have an adventuring party in the story, that makes sense. They actually depict the day-to-day jobs of the citizens. Does the word class still make sense for this? Look, do you want to add even more complexity to this game? Fair point. Artist Talent is the red class, and level 1 lets you rummage every time you cast a non-creature spell. That sounds pretty good for a storm deck. Level 2 gives you the Goblin Electromancer text. Okay, I know that's good in a storm deck. And level 3 adds 2 damage to all of your non-combat damage. That sounds amazing for a storm deck. Exactly. It's a heavy mana investment to get all the way to level 3, but the setup could definitely be worth it. Oh, my grape shots and I are definitely taking this. Okay. Selma-Discad. Parting Gust is a new instant that shows off the gift mechanic. What's that? If you give one of your opponents a bonus, the spell has an extra effect. What kind of bonuses do we get here? Well, some gift a card, but this one gives a tapped 1/1 fish. And how does it change the spell? You exile a non-token creature, and if the gift was promised, it doesn't come back. Oh, wow! But if it wasn't promised, the creature comes back at the next end step with a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's either blink or removal that kind of turns the creature into a 1/1 fish. Pretty much. That seems pretty cool. Mind if I try it out? Be my guest. I'll be right back, right? Wow, that really is a gift. Okay, Somebody's cat. Bloomborough has a new Broken Wings style card. Hard pass. Wait, hear me out. I said pass. I am not falling for Atrax's Fall again. These cards just do not have targets way too often. What if I told you this one was never dead in hand? You got 10 seconds. Paw Patch Formation can destroy flyers, enchantments, and it has a mode where you just draw a card and make a food. So that's basically cycling plus a food. I mean, in most games, pretty much, yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Does it still cost 3? Only 2. Nice. I honestly think this card is going to elevate green in standard, at least coming out of sideboards. Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, I'm sold, but I better not regret this. Okay, Somebody's Cat. Dewdrop Cure is a reanimation spell that can target creatures with mana value 2 or less. So a replacement for Patch Up now that it's rotating? Well, not really, because Patch Up decks often would target a single 3-drop like Monastery Mentor. Oh, but you can target up to 3 2-drops as long as you gift your opponent a card. What are the chances you'll have that many targets? Not great most of the time in Standard, but in Commander, this is going to be great. Okay, but in a format like Commander, aren't there better options for reanimating tinies? I don't think so. I will completely trust you on that. And it's still a pass. That effect is way too narrow. Okay, Somebody's Cat. Bloomborough's Mythic Dragon is a beast. Oh yeah? Well, actually, no, it's a bird. What? Its type is Bird Dragon, not a Beast Dragon. No. But it is good, okay? It's called Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest. It's a 5/5 for 5, and when it ETBs or attacks, you impulse draw the top card of your deck for each big creature you have. Red card advantage in the late game is nice and all, but if I tap out on 5, that ETB gives me nothing. But on your end step, you shock each opponent for each card that's still in exile. There it is. Okay, so this is just like a big dumb beat stick that can draw you cards in the late game. Pretty much. Honestly, that sounds better than a lot of the dragons we've gotten recently. And it's a bird. I mean, if that's important to you, sure, I guess. I am in though, I'll take him.